How you guys doing today? This is Darius from Down on the TV. Welcome to the channel. So today I want to talk about what noticed and seen is a lot of women complain about men not approaching anymore, and there's a good reason for that. You know, because of the modern times, Me Too, all the feminist movements, and the inversion of the balance between the feminine and masculine. Everything's inverted, meaning upside down, meaning out of place. And unfortunately, because of female nature, women want what they want at that moment, but then later on, it comes to bite them in the ass later on in the back end, just like children. And you got to understand, women complained about sexual harassment, but guys being creeps, but they don't understand that they're not honest with what they truly want. They want men to approach them, but they only want men they find and deem attractive to approach them. They don't want any random Joe Blow approaching them. And you got to understand, women are not upfront. They're the passive principle when it comes to the exchanges of any interactions. Women don't want to be upfront with their intentions because then they fear judgment. Because if they're judged, then they feel isolated and insecure. They don't want you to know their true nature, that they're very shallow and very picky. And the honest truth is, most men are considered unattractive to most women. Only 2% of men are considered sexually attractive to most women, regardless if she's attractive or not herself. That's the god awful truth. And you got to understand that most men, due to women having the authority in this gynocentric society, now men have learned, because men are logical creatures and are the active principle. Men decide that I'm not going to approach. Either I talk to her through social media or on the dating apps, but most men aren't approaching. Most men are reverting due to the social and legal consequences that could happen if they misread this woman. Because women think that if I give him a 2-second glance, that means he knows to approach me. Women are cowardly when it comes to that kind of sense. And they don't understand that men are not paying attention to the minute openings that they're giving. Men are very bold and very upfront. And unfortunately, that women aren't getting approached. They're not getting approached by the men they want to, or the men they don't find attractive. And what it's causing is the birth rates are low, and it's causing women to be even more lonely and isolated. And it's ruining the social fabric, because now it's becoming such a big issue. They're talking about this on TikTok, Instagram, that men aren't approaching them. And these are very attractive women. But most dudes in their head, if they see a woman that's a 7 or up, most dudes think in their head like, oh man, she got a boyfriend, man. She too fine to be by herself. But in reality, she dry. She just as dry as you, because no man isn't approaching her unless it's due to is it no man is approaching her due to the fear of being called a creep. Because men, the social environments where you can approach, which is the gym or the workplace, where most interactions between men and women happen, you can't do it because she'll think you're a creep, or she might report you to the front desk, or she might report you to HR. So men don't approach at work anymore. Men don't approach at the gym. Men don't approach anywhere other than the dating apps or social media. So women are suffering the consequences of what they wanted, because they promoted Me Too, which they took it too far. They promoted all these sexual harassment laws. Now it's coming to bite them in the ass. And so really, we have to adjust. Women now have to become the active principle, meaning they have to approach men, because men are not finna do it. In this 2025, in these current modern day environment, men are not finna approach women. They're just not, because the social And legal consequences, if he gets it wrong, is too great. Because let's say he approaches her at the gym. She feels uncomfortable. She's not going to upfrontly say, "Hey, I don't like you like that." Woo to woo. She's gonna smile, talk to you, and then behind your back, go to the front desk staff and report you for harassment. And then now you're getting kicked out of the gym because you miscommunicated her smile or her being cordial as an opening to holler at her. And unfortunately, the only way to basically avoid all that is to just go through dating apps or social media where there aren't any legal or social consequences if you get it wrong. And women don't understand this. Now, women need to approach men. It's in the modern day, they need to approach men. So then men aren't getting anything wrong because now he knows, okay, she likes me. So it's a sad thing that now everything's so inverted and reversed and so out of sync with nature that now men have to be passive. Because if they become active and get it wrong, there are huge social consequences. You could go to jail. You could you could be labeled as a creep and everybody look at you funny now. You could lose your job. And that's a real thing, miscommunication, because women are not honest and upfront with their intentions. They're not upfront in telling who they like and who they don't. And they're so nonchalant and passive and cowardly, they're afraid of rejection. Most women aren't going to get rejected. That's the thing. Most men will take any woman. I've seen it. Most men aren't going to reject most women because it's hard for most men to even get a girlfriend. Most of the Gen Z, Gen Xers, or as Gen Z, most of the Gen Zs are lonely, are still versions of the men, of course, not the girls. Most of the Gen Z boys are lonely and can't get a girlfriend. Never even kissed a girl, never been on a date. So women are not going to get rejected. That's a dumb excuse for women. But their nature is the passive principle. So they are meant to receive, they are meant to be molded and shaped. They're not meant to pursue. But unfortunately, I would advise women that you have to approach, you have to make the first move. If you want a guy, if you want to get a date or a boyfriend, you're going to have to approach him. You're going to have to be the one because men cannot do it. Because if he gets it wrong, he can lose everything or he can be humiliated and be seen as a social pariah. And most guys don't want to deal with that because it's too harsh. So, anyways, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. Like I said, it's a sad time that unfortunately men are not allowed to truly be men, and men are punished for if they get something wrong. If they are not perceived as attractive to the woman, and they punish you severely to where no man wants to approach. No man wants to act out on his nature of not being a creep, not being a predator, but being a man who wants what he wants. Now, whether or not she finds him attractive or not, that's up to her. But in all honesty, most men, anyway, to most women find most men unattractive. So you can get that out your head. But most women will marry men they're not sexually attracted to because men are valued for more than just their looks. So you can just go ahead and approach anyway. But anywho, this was Darius from Down on the TV. Thank you so much.